Hey, what's up, team? It's Sherman here from Geek Psychology. This video is on the ENFJ versus the ENFP. And what I mean by versus is I'm just comparing and contrasting them. Hopefully it'll help you out if you are one of the people that are like, I don't really understand the difference, and I don't know if I'm an ENFJ or an ENFP, or I don't know if my partner or friend or coworker or whatever is an ENFJ or an ENFP. First, I want to talk about the RPG kind of model that I like to use, kind of with some experimental names, but it's okay. You can let me know your input on it too. And then from there, I'll talk about the cognitive functions, kind of run through to see if it helps you really understand which one you are through some introspection. Sound good? All right. So first of all, like as always, gotta start with like why this is important. And I think it's because I think there's confusion that comes from having the same letters in the same code. Like if you look at the MBTI code, ENFJ, ENFP, that sounds like there's a lot in common. And there is a lot in common, but once you like take it apart, you find that they actually don't share any of the same functions within consciousness. And it's not usually the same go-to tools. Let's just first talk about like those three letters, okay? So E, extrovert, both are getting energy from the outer world. That's kind of how they recharge, by being outside of themselves, kind of. And then from there, you have N, intuition. So both of these types are going to be about ideas and the abstract nature of things, not necessarily the firm, concrete, sensory-based aspects, the taste and touch and stuff like that, but it's what comes from there, the patterns behind the scenes and kind of filling in the blanks, but they do it in different ways. And then from there, also feeling, they're both in tune with the human-centric component. They're thinking about the people, man, the people, the hearts, right? The how their actions affect other people, or how other people affect themselves in their heart, in their soul. Okay, so like I said, though, they do come at different angles. Their orientation of those functions are different. So let's start out with the RPG model that I just like so much. So imagine there are two classes. Let's just stick with two. So imagine they're in an arena or something like that, right? With the ENFJ, the leader of the whole thing is this unifying cleric style. They're kind of more up close, kind of paladin-esque, and they're ready to actually get into the mix with their heart, right? And that's how they're healing people while being up close and actually getting that real impact, right? And then from there, the support or the companion kind of function, which it sounds strange to call it the support, but within the mental model, that's kind of how it's working. I like to think of it as an insightful, unseen, or hidden kind of character. Kind of, it could be a rogue, it could be a sniper or something like that. I used to call them sentinels. So it's kind of this character that is in the back and playing kind of long distance, right? And seeing where things are going and kind of predicting where they need to be, premeditating where they need to be in order to get to get their goal, right? In this case, it's to unify people through insights. If you're thinking about the ENFP though, and the flippy floppiness of intuition and feeling, the ENFP leads with intuition. So they lead with their ideas instead of that feeling-based component, right? So I like to think of NE, their leading function, as this innovative gunner style. Tons of different weapons, like unlimited ammo, just to shoot everything that comes out, spread all these ideas, all these bullets out, and kind of create change and play with it as they're doing it, right? They're very lively, energetic, and kind of outgoing in that sense. And then the support for that, or the companion within that, like the first two functions, is, and I'm still playing with the names here, some sort of like karmic empath or empathic priest. So it's a longer range healing. And what I mean by that is it's kind of more protected. The healing, like the heart for an ENFP is in. It's covered, it's protected. It might not always look like it, but it is. Like their true values and ideals are largely kind of kept in there. Whereas the ENFJ, it's kind of like they wear their heart on their sleeves, right? It's AoE healing and expressing and emoting things. And so you have that different kind of vibe. So with the ENFP, the healer's in the back and putting shields on the gunner who is out in the front and just playing with ideas and shaking up the situation, throwing down some AoE and just kind of creating chaos a little bit, right? There are more components within it, but that's kind of how you could imagine it with some RPG symbolism and analogies, all right? So now let's talk about the actual cognitive functions. All right, so first of all, let's talk about intuition, because that's just first in the code, ENF, blah, blah, blah. So intuition for the ENFJ is focused inward. And it's the auxiliary function. And what it is, it's taking abstract ideas, it's taking their insights and images and symbols and stuff like that and kind of synthesizing them to get this one clear understanding of where things are going and thinking more about the probability of things actually coming true. And in order to do that, they shift perspectives a lot. They kind of change. They go up at different angles. If you're imagining that unseen character, that insightful unseen character, they're able to change their position within the battle, right? They can shadow step from one place to another. They can go up to a higher elevation and kind of see things from different angles, different perspectives. And that's what the ENFJ is trying to do with their perceiving function, which is how they kind of understand the world. And then the ENFP is using extroverted intuition. And we kind of already talked about this, but this is a more playful use of ideas. And it's their leading function. It has kind of this flow state, this endless energy that they're able to just put out with it. And a lot of it, if you're just kind of looking at an ENFP, it's going to seem just like entertainment. And also it's entertaining different ideas. This is John Beebe's word for it. But they're able to take in different ideas and kind of just play with them and see where they go without really connecting so much to the actual result that the idea will come to. I hope that makes sense. So it's not as heavy. It's kind of entertaining, but it's also using those ideas to change people, because its feeling is their judging function. So it's using ideas to change people and kind of shake things up and brainstorm different possibilities for ways to act and hopefully to improve the world. All right. And so from there, we have feeling. So for the ENFJ, feeling is the leading function, the leading hero, and this is extroverted. What that means is they're evaluating values and emotions and seeing like how well does it sit on this scale, but it's extroverted. It's outside of themselves. So they're looking naturally at the environment, at the community, at the people around them, and reading the mood, reading the environment, reading the emotional situation to see how people are feeling and how can I make a decision, use a judging function. How can I interact with these people to either smooth things over, to create those bridges that help people bond a bit better, to unify people, or to just connect them and build cohesion and harmony and things like that. This is not to say that it's always a good thing. They could be manipulative with it, but that depends on the person, right? It's what it is. It's reading the environment, reading people, and then creating an action that feels good. All right. And so for the ENFP, it's introverted feeling. So you're taking the feeling realm of things, the human component, the soul, the heart, and bringing it inward. And so what this is judging based on your own personal experience, your own values, and kind of looking to your ethics and your moral code and your conscience to see if this is the right choice, if this is the right thing to do, if this is a good thing to do. This also, as always, anybody can actually be bad, right? So if you don't spend enough time really assessing your values and your, sifting through your emotions in the right way, then it's going to create problems, right? But that's neither here nor there in this video. This is about good people and just understanding the cognitive functions, all right? From there, let's talk a little bit about sensing. Sensing for the ENFJ is their tertiary function. I think of it as this newbie style, which can be great. It can be a lot of fun. It can be, joyful and just want to experience the game of life. And it can also kind of cause some problems and just not be as, you can't rely on it as much as you would hope. And there is a massive connection to extroverted sensing for the ENFJs, but it comes out as a relief state. And so extroverted sensing is about your senses, what you can taste, smell, touch, and all that stuff. And it's extroverted. So it's in the immediate realm around you. What's outside of you right now? Like, what can I interact with, and what is that thing based on my senses? And so this comes out through engaging in the moment, engaging in the experience that is around you, and enjoying what that is. So if you imagine extroverted sensing as this adaptive gladiator style, like, they're willing to just run out there and experience what everything is. But if you kind of put it within that context of the character of being a newbie, like someone that just kind of doesn't fully understand their character, then you have this experience of extroverted sensing in a tertiary way, which is just let's just have fun in the moment and go outside, walk through the woods, ride a bike or something like that, take a nice hot bath. And it's not really like the core of the ENFJ's identity. All right, and then so for the ENFP, sensing is introverted, and it comes at a different position. This comes within the anti-hero position, the fourth function. It's aspirational or inferior. And what it is, it's taking that sensing realm and turning it inward. So what it comes out as is reliving experiences, recalling different memories. And the kind of goal of a lot of that is to build stability, to make sure that you're not always creating, new situations, recreating the wheel, and that you actually do kind of trust traditions and the tried and true methods. And because this is the fourth function, it's the anti-heroic style for the ENFP, it's something that they fight against. Like, it feels different. It feels otherly within them. And their natural leading style of that innovative gunner fights that. He doesn't want to stop and settle down and be like, let me check in with my past experiences to see if this is a good idea. No, he just wants to go out there and experience it by playing with things, creating new ideas, brainstorming new options of how to deal with something, and then decide what to do from there, right? Introverted sensing, really just trusts past procedures and tries to implement them. And that is one area that ENFPs can really gain a lot from, is stopping and thinking about how they went through this in the past, and not just continuously creating new item builds and new approaches to things, right? Like, look up a guide or go into your past experience a bit and kind of be like, all right, let's just do this because this worked before. This was the right thing to do based on my own experiences, and this is what I should do. And so the last aspect of reality that we're going to approach here is thinking, the thinking realm. This is the head, the logic. It's more objective or detached. And so for the ENFJ, it's introverted thinking, and that is their otherly, anti-heroic, aspirational, inferior side of themselves. And it's taking logic, using your head in a kind of cold, cool way, and really making sense of things based on your own subjective, natural kind of experience. Defining and naming and classifying and categorizing information without connecting it to people. And that's, I think, where a lot of the difficulty comes in, because it is an aspiration. You know, ENFJs do feel that they are probably a lot more logical than possibly they really are, because it comes out, that logic comes out through ways of trying to deal with people. So it might be a little tainted sometimes. It might be a little, I don't know, buggy a little bit. But that's not to say that, you know, they're not logical, because I have ENFJ friends and they are very logical, but it's in a different way. It's not quite like an INTP or something like that, right? It's not just fully grounded in logic, like this big block of logic. And so strictly analyzing things logically for the sake of doing that and for the sake of actually putting the information in the correct categories and stuff is not where their attention is focused. It's more on the people and making sure that the situation is nice and good. All right? Unifying like a cleric would do. And then so the ENFP, thinking for them comes out as extroverted, and it's in the tertiary, it's in that newbie style. This isn't to say that they can't use it, right? But it's to say that it doesn't always kind of work as planned. And it's not really the right character to choose all the time. Like, you don't want to always listen to the newbie when you have this awesome companion over here, just like, hey, I can heal you, I can take care of these things. And then if you're just listening to the newbie, it's not a really good choice, right? So extroverted thinking is logic, and it's organizing it in the outer world. So if you're trying to think of the cause and effect relationships between things, logically, outside of yourself, you're going to organize your surroundings. You're going to take action that is effective and efficient, and it's going to hopefully help you kind of measure your progress and achieve goals and things like that. And if it's not balanced properly, then it's like, I have this idea, let me just instantly put it into play and see if it works. And that's not always good, because it's keeping your priest in the background. It's not really thinking about the heart. It's not really thinking about the emotions and the values and the conscience and things like that. All right, so make sure that you trust your companion, both of you, ENFJs and ENFPs. All right, so that is the end of this video. I hope it was helpful. If it was, please let me know what was helpful, what different words and ideas that I used worked well with you. And like, subscribe, share, do all that good stuff. And if it wasn't helpful, if there was anything that you're like, I don't really think that fit with me, please let me know, because I want to update and adjust my understanding of both of these. All right. So thank you very much. Keep up the lifelong questing. Good luck. Have fun. Thank you very much, patrons. Peace. That's a weird face.